The Underdog Podcast. It's your host T. Lee and my co-host Jack Cowden will be live today as usual.
Was pulling up, they acting like they couldn't see me. Now she wanna clean me up like a squeegee. I told her that's on me, baby, like yellow BZ. With the peanut butter tear like a Reese.
Keep on persevere through all the obstacles. Get it done. That's the underdog.
They don't forget the underdog when they see me. I hit them with the John Cena, they can't see me.
You may overlook this person, but the underdog is the one who's going to put in the work.
It's over, you know? Because you have to lose to win. Whether you think losing is a big event.
Out of mind. All I'm saying, just be careful who you idolize. I'm kicking these scriptures just before the fame. Ain't no cap in my words, I go against the grain.
So I always believe in life. I took so many risks to make this thing happen. You know what I mean?
I'm always working, bro. Like I said, I'm energy driven.
Underdog can put you on your ass. The underdog can put you on game. The underdog can show you something that you didn't know.
Can't go down. All you can do is go up. So are you going to stay where you at, or are you going to move up?
We're the bangers. For the bangers.
He said he's nervous. This is his first time doing it.
Cut her ass off, if she get down, I can reread.
Let's see. What's going on, good people? Welcome to the Underdogs Podcast. It's your host, Fleetwood JR. We're back again. Season 9, episode 19. Creating iconic moments, the story behind the lens. Featuring our guest, Rodrigo. You feel me? We're going to go on and introduce him and bring him in the right way, you know. We got an actor, stunt performer, martial artist, filmmaker, photographer, and entrepreneur, founder of Red Katana Media and Flow Syndicate Media. Rodrigo has built a career helping brands, businesses, and creators bring their stories to life through cinematic visuals and intentional storytelling. So we ain't gonna waste no time, man. We're gonna go on and bring him in the studio right now.
What's going on, everybody? That might be one of the best intros I've ever had in my life. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Like I say, appreciate you coming on today, man. You know.
Thank you for having me, brother.
We got a full screen right now. Let me see what's going on. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. Like I say, man, you know, we back on our, you know, original platform, you know, like we back in motion, like I mentioned you, man. Over 100 episodes. We're going on season 10 right now, you know. It's been going on for like 3 years now, you know. So this is what we dedicated to, man. We're dedicated to, you know, sharing these stories, you know, the underdog story. And, you know, we always got a beginning point, you know. You want to share, like, you know, your story and, you know, how did, you know, things come about and everything like that, you know, just to plant your seed, you know, in our soil, you know. So the story definitely going to be inspiring to help other people, you know.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we do this.
Definitely, man. Like I say, man, you know, like I said, today we're going to talk about creativity, discipline, you know, entrepreneurship, storytelling, the journey behind, you know, everything that you're doing. So for those meeting you, you know, for the first time, introduce yourself, you know, tell us who Rodrigo is, you know, today.
Rodrigo now is pretty much everything that you have said in that introduction. I would say in that order, actually, you know, well, really there's no particular order in how I do things and who I am and stuff like that. But overall, I would say the biggest one that I always am is I'm an entertainer. I'm here to just get to help people see the best version of who they are, and if they don't know how to achieve that, then I'm there to help them. But at the end of the day, too, I always create. You know, those are the things that I always aspire to do. I aspire to create and to inspire.
Definitely, man. You know, the biggest thing with creation, man, is like it literally starts off as a thought. You know,
Right.
at first, it's an idea, and then as time go on, it starts turning into something tangible. It's like watching it grow right in front of your eyes. You know, it's like we literally doing some form of magic. You know, but you know, it's
There are
definitely
times when you're in that like entire space too, where it's like before you know it, it starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and
yeah,
then by the time you reach like like that point, you're just like, whoa, wait a minute, like when did this happen? You know, so
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
makes it so fun.
Definitely, man. So, you know, how would, you know, those close to you describe you outside of your profession, title, or business, you know?
Well, the one consistent word that I always hear is insane. You know, especially my family too. You know, like there were times when they would hear me uh at like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, just like tapping away at my computer because I would be editing photos or I would have an idea for a film that I would hand out to like a friend and say, hey man, like here's an idea for a film, you want to do it? And at first, like it was a little bit like, wait a minute, like I'm not insane, I'm just inspired, right? Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
insane. But now I actually take that more now as like an actual compliment too, because now I'm in a position where I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, like I am insane. You got to be insane in order to be like creative, right? You got to be insane in any kind of field that you do, whether it's the fine arts, whether it's in sports, whether it's in anything, right?
Mm-hmm. Nah, you're not lying, man, because like it's real orthodox because creativity don't have like a certain time where it just happens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It can just happen at any moment, you know. For me, it used to be like late nights, early mornings, and I'm still up. You know, it's like I'm nocturnal like an owl or something. It's like I'm just up, but that used to be my
Right.
creative moments, you know. So nah, definitely, man. So what kind of energy, you know, when you walk into a room, you know, like what type of energy you bring?
Ah, man, that's I don't know, man. That's a hard question actually, because personally, like I never really asked myself that actually. Like whenever I walk in, I can feel and I know that people feel it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, I've been told, like I do have a bit of and at first, you know, because of my background with martial arts and also being a former competitor too, world champion, I it it actively creates this aura, right? And like this energy about you where you're just like, hey man, like there's something kind of different about like who you are and like how you carry yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they actually, come up and talk to me, and they'll tell me things like, man, like when I first met you, I thought like you were a little bit intimidating and kind of like hard to reach and stuff like that. But I like the fact that you're open and you're actually kind of funny, So to me, that's a big um compliment actually, because now I know I'm just like, okay, like okay, but I have that power and to be able to change people's perspectives, which is like, all right, so you think it's this, but it's actually that, which is
Mm-hmm.
always great.
Nah, definitely, man. You know, it's always gonna be different type of perspectives, but like you say, as soon as the connection happened, you know, it definitely, you know, hit different.
Hmm.
So, man, let's just talk about your reflection and growth. You know, looking back over the year, like the last year, how would you describe this chapter of your life today?
Who man? Oh yeah. This entire season, I would say, over the last year and a half to 2 years has been just all about films. Starting in like January of last year, I've always had at least like one or two that I've done like every month actually. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's been just like nonstop. Uh, you know, whether it's been as an actual whether it's been me actively making the film or me being a part of the production crew or me being in front of the camera. It's just been a nonstop. You're always doing it. You're always doing it. I would say it's been a very testing season as well because like this is that type of season too that really you really understand like if your heart's actually into it. Like if your
Mm-hmm.
heart's into it because like what a lot of people don't understand about doing this type of stuff, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a film, whether it's photography. It's like it's a full-time thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a full-time thing that takes up so much of your physical, but also your but also a
Your
lot of
mental.
this,
Yeah, your
right?
mental. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that's what a whole bunch of people don't understand, and it's been that season, I would say, that you really get tested, and you really start to ask yourself like, man, I'm tired, like, man, I'm exhausted. I've been doing this film since like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I've in the past like 2 days, I've probably only gotten uh 4 to like 5 hours of sleep too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and my heart's really into it, and I'm happy to say that I'm coming out of the other side of it now. I didn't stop.
Yeah, nah, I feel that, man. It definitely does a lot on your mental and your physical because it's like
Hmm.
once you're done with a certain task, you feel exhausted a little bit, you know?
Right,
Yeah, it's
but
like you
there's
put
also
all
like
your
that
energy.
area of satisfaction too,
Yeah,
where like you ask yourself, you're like, man, all right,
I
I
got it
got it.
done.
I got
Yeah,
through.
yeah. Nah, definitely, man. That's that like when they say like working out or something like that pain, but then you see the
Mhm.
results, you know,
Right.
but you're going through that physical and mental pain though at the same time. But then over time it starts building like your mind is like it's not so much focused on the process anymore, you know.
Hmm.
hmm So what have been some of your biggest wins both personally and professionally, you would say?
Over the past year or just like overall?
I say, let's do overall.
Overall? Oh, okay.
hmm
So let's see, what have been the biggest wins? Uh guess when from the time that I was 15 to even now, like as a martial artist, you always like that competition.
Yeah.
I've been able to achieve a whole bunch of that as well. Former world champ in kickboxing and karate as well. It's because of martial arts too that I've been able to travel as well. And so
hmm
see the world and just be able to see a whole bunch of cultures as well. How they see the arts, how they see like combat sports, how combat sports is being able to evolve all over the world,
hmm
and then also just in fine arts too. I've been a part of a certain film cruise actually that we've actually gone onto film festivals. We've
Yeah.
won awards. Like some of our films have been picked up for for international stuff, and then acting as well. I have let's see, I think like last year I did
Mm-hmm.
like two or three films that are now like on like a film festival uh on their film festival circuits.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so things are really starting to stack up, and I mean, there's nowhere to go but up from here.
Nah, definitely, man. That's like, man, it's one thing I'm gonna tell you, man. It sounds like you talent stacking, and all of it like goes together. From the
Yeah.
martial arts to the film to the acting, like everything all meshes well together.
Well, everything has been, it's so interesting to think about because if it was not for this thing, then I would not have been able to do
Got
this
into
thing.
the
If it
yeah,
wasn't for, if it wasn't for the martial arts, I would not have been able to actively, l- last a
mm-hmm.
long time in like film and like production and stuff like that. Because I don't think a whole bunch of people out there too understand as well. Like the arts, like the fine arts. It's a very hard. It's a very difficult. Because there's a whole bunch of things that have to go into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's no different than if you were to do a podcast here or if
Mm-hmm.
you were to do a film. It requires a whole bunch of stuff, you doing things over time, without the possibility of being paid for it, right? But
Yeah.
and you keep doing it because you're in that position to say, you know what, I know this is gonna work
Yeah,
out.
it's gonna pay off,
Yeah.
because that's the thing though. Like when you're doing what you love, or you really just doing something that you authentically dedicating yourself to, like everything that comes along with it, whatever it may be, it's gonna come. Like
Yes, sir.
regardless, long as you stick to what you're doing, and you're like I say, whatever routine you have and stuff, like literally, it's like you don't know the timestamp of when that moment is gonna happen. But it's just like the work, when that moment happens, like you say, a milestone is reached, you'll realize like, okay, this milestone happened because of the amount of work I was doing behind the scenes. Like,
Right.
you know, but I feel like if people just stick their minds just to like, I'm gonna do this, so this comes out of this, or I'm gonna do this, and I'm doing this for the money and stuff like that, they're gonna lose track of. They're not gonna pour themselves 100% into what they're doing because
Hmm.
they're kind of distracted and thinking about everything else on the outside of what's really in front of them.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, man. I mean, it's hard, and
yeah,
there were definitely times when I would be telling myself and saying, "Man, can I get a timestamp here? Like, do I have
yeah,
to keep like working hard for maybe another year, another month,
mm-hmm.
maybe another day? Like you never know. It could be tomorrow that I finally am able to go through it, but." Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
You
I'd
could
be like, I'm like, man, if we knew exactly how everything was gonna happen, what's the we went I don't feel like we'd be able to enjoy the process like that. If we knew
right.
exactly everything that was gonna happen in front of us, it's like, what do we really learn? What do we really grow at where we know exactly where we're going and how it's gonna happen?
That's one of the fun parts about being a part of the arts, right? Whether it's a podcast, whether it's a film, whether it's photography shoot too. You can plan all you want. You can map it out as much as you want, but
Mhm.
until you're there, you don't pick things up.
Yeah, you just gotta enjoy the process.
Exactly.
Definitely. So what lessons challenge you the most this past year?
Um. Uh. Well, I would say that what we just talked about. Enjoy the process. There's a whole bunch of positive, but there's also a whole bunch of n- negative experiences too that you can try to avoid, but it's always going to be inevitable. Enjoy the process as much as you can and
Mhm.
see those experiences that you had and tell yourself, okay, you know what, this was a positive experience, I'm gonna try to do that. And then also see like the bad experiences and say, okay, I'm gonna try my best to not have to do that. But eventually, you know, there's also certain people in the arts too that you're always going to, you know, that you're always just gonna have to be around, even though you probably hate it,
Mhm.
but you understand it, and then you're always just like, okay, you know what? I promise that I'm not gonna be like that, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy the process, enjoy it, and take each thing as it teaches you things, because
Yeah.
that's the only way like you are gonna be able to evolve anyway.
Yeah, you got to take everything for what it is, the positive, and even if it's the negatives, you can still turn that negative into what you can benefit from it. You know,
Hmm.
what you can learn from that experience in that moment, because we're not gonna get everything 100% every time. But
Right.
it's like if we get it 90%, that 10%, we know exactly what we're missing. Or that 20%, we know how to get that other 20. You know,
Right.
so it just takes a lot of reflection, but like I say, actually doing it and having these trial and errors. Uh, was there a moment where it completely shifted your perspective on creativity or life, like where it kind of you thought one way and then it kind of just went a whole opposite way than what you were thinking?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I got like a bullets of the stories, man. We'll start
Mm,
with photography. So you know, so people always ask me, and they're always like, oh well, you know, like you do all these things with like sports and businesses and you know all you know, and MMA fighters too.
mm,
Why don't you ever do um weddings? I hate it. Like
yeah,
I'm probably one of the first people that you know you have heard that does photography that hates go into those things. I will only pick it up, uh, like I'll only do an engagement like that
yeah,
if it's of a very close person, right? So like if I know them personally and I know how when I first started when I actually first started to build RKMG, I did do wedding photography and stuff like that, and
mm,
there was one in a particular that I did out in Windermere, right?
yeah,
um High class people, you know, like they this is how like I changed my entire business, you know, of like how to get paid, what like you guys want, the type of packages that I offer to people as well.
you learned it all at that first one,
Learned
like
it all, yeah, man.
yeah.
This was like no. It actually wasn't my first one. It was my fourth or fifth,
Yeah,
I
but
think, that I was doing.
that wedding one probably was like that set
It was
apart.
hard, yeah,
Yeah,
man. It was hard. It was very difficult. My the people that I was doing it for, that like they were not the happiest of campers and like the easiest to deal with.
yeah,
It actually reached a huge point, like a huge boiling point where you know, like we had been there since like 8 a.m., right? Like it was nonstop. You know, if I was not with the bridal party, I was with, you know, the gentleman's party, and you know, just going back and forth, back and forth. We
mm,
were hungry, right? Like we had eaten through all of our snacks and everything that we had taken.
mm,
So we're in line. We're just getting food. At this point of the reception, we've captured everything, right? From like the pre-show, the actual ceremony, the reception, everybody's dancing. You know, like everybody's just good, right? So we get in line to go and pick things up to eat, and then the groom comes up to me while I'm in line. I
mm,
have my plate on me. He takes my plate, he puts it down, and he says, "What are you guys doing?" And I'm just
mm.
like, "What do you mean?" And he just goes, "You guys got to work.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
still on the clock." And I'm like, "Are you
yeah,
kidding me right now?" So and also, mind you, too, we haven't been paid yet. They were going to pay us right after the wedding. My mistake, right? So and
I get it.
so yeah, so I'm just like, no, man, like like we're hungry, like we have everything that we could ever eat, right? So now it's just time to be able to see the photos, see the videos that we've taken, so on and so forth, right? And then and then he's still telling us like, you got to get to work, how to get to work, right? Like he's not taking no for an answer. And that completely changed like my entire perspective of just like, does this man like not understand like what it is that like we had just been through? Like, does this man like not understand like the entire process of like what it takes, right? Like we have thousands and thousands of photos, thousands of videos, and now we have to go through the entire process of like seeing, oh, that one's good, that
Down
one's
know the
bad,
behind the
that one
scenes,
was
man.
yeah, like that's hours upon hours upon hours, right? And this man just thinks that we can just do that, right? And everything is now completely edited, everything is perfect, and all the photos come out great, right? So then I send my team to to eat, right? He does the exact same thing. He goes right up to them, he takes their plates and says, hey man, like y'all gotta work. And we're just like, are you kidding me right now? So he leaves, we go back, we pick up our plates, and we're eating, and we're starting to go over things, and we're just like, okay, like I can tell that this man, he does not understand anything.
Yeah.
So we take our photos, we take our videos, and we start deleting everything, and then we walk out.
Yeah, man. Ignorance is the most, that's pure ignorance, because
Yeah,
it's like what you don't understand, instead of asking, you decide to just go with your first thoughts of everything in your head. When he could
hmm
have just asked, if you're unfamiliar, he's just assuming, but that's, like I say, that's just pure ignorance, though.
right.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, too insane. So ever since then, I changed my business model of like,
Hmm.
so if I am gonna do this, like I'm gonna be paid the day of.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be in talks about what kind of packages and things like you guys want, so that way we're not going over budget and under
Hmm.
budget, things like that.
Hmm.
And yeah, so the whole system changed.
Yeah, that'll do it though, man. But you, like I
Yeah.
said, you made the right. It had to happen for a reason, though. That was the
Yeah.
moment that, yeah, it had to happen. So,
And it hurts too because like a whole bunch of the photos that like we had there. So like they were in this
mhm,
this like really big church actually that
yeah,
had these like really nice like stained portraits, so
mhm,
like they would stand like right at the light, they would be hit by all these like different colors and things like that. Like I remember going, over all the photos and everything that we took, and I'm just like, man,
I
like
know
these are
it was
amazing, but like I got
immaculate,
to stand
but
on business.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was immaculate. But at the same time, the client destroyed his own,
That's what you
with
get.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and you like stuff like that at weddings, you only get that one experience. Like that's
Right.
it. Like, so I'm pretty sure today's time, like I said, whatever in this marriage still, I'm pretty sure he's still probably, like I say, he's getting some flack on that, definitely,
Oh yeah.
because you don't have no, you know, I'm
Well,
pretty
they're
sure.
divorced now, so
Oh,
yeah. So
yeah, I'm pretty
there
sure
you
that
go.
got brought up.
Wouldn't have mattered. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that got brought up. People like when it get that far, it's like that's why when so and so, you're the reason our pictures got deleted, or
Right.
yeah, I know that definitely came up. But man, let's just tap into the origin, man. Like take us back to the beginning. What was life like growing up?
Well, I mean, the life of an immigrant, obviously is ever easy. Coming to the States
Okay.
really young, living in Miami, and then coming to Central Florida as well. been all over the place. You know, I always tell people, and you know, like people always like to kind of say, "Oh my gosh, you know, like were you poor? You know, like were you this or that?" And I'm like, "Whoa, you know, let's pump the brakes there." You know, like you know, like as a kid, you know, I was definitely spoiled, right? And when I say spoiled, like I don't mean it in a way of like, you know, I had, you know, like whenever I asked, you know, like my parents would just do that, and then, you know, like I would be able to get it. You know, my parents made sure that I had everything that I had to be, you know, to actively make something of myself, right? You know, we didn't have much, but we had everything we needed. So
Nah, man. Like I say, that's a big one you just dropped on me, man. You know, it's like I said, let the audience know, man, where you're originally from, you know, and around what age you came to America. Was like there a culture shock, or like was there, you know, like
there
what
was a
how did it
bit.
feel?
So, well, I mean, not much of a culture shock actually,
Right.
simply because of the fact of like, you know, when I first came to the States, I lived in Miami, which I
Yeah.
mean, like if you've ever been there, like you know, Miami's its
Yeah.
own country with its own culture,
Yeah, you
and
got a lot of heritage of, you know, like
right,
different ethnicities and stuff down there. Just because, like you say, like the first piece of land, usually when people come from the islands or so, it'd be Miami, you know.
it's Miami. Yeah, right. It's a cultural hub, and you know, and so kind of being there at first, it didn't really feel like an actual culture shock, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I was around my people, you know, like even though we spoke different versions of Spanish, you
Mm-hmm.
know, we could still talk, we could still communicate and stuff like that. So I mean, it didn't
Yeah.
feel out of place like at all. And
Yeah.
even when I came here to Orlando area, um again, I mean, like I didn't really feel it too out of place and everything like that. You know, Orlando at the time as well. You know, 2004, 2005 had a
Mm-hmm.
huge like Hispanic
Yeah, they
community
did.
and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
around that time too, it was all like in Orlando. Now we're a little bit more spread out,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, and but I still feel like, you know, even though I came from uh uh uh, Guatemala, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
I never felt out of place.
Nah, that's definitely, yeah. You get a big tropical sense though in Florida, just in general, you know.
Hmm.
So I can definitely feel that, man. So when did you first realize you were drawn to storytelling and, you know, creativity, you know, and just arts, fine arts in general, you know, like you wear many hats, you know, and even with the combat side of it, like how you even just walk into that?
Right. Okay. So combat, that's a really, really cool story.
Yeah.
So it was third, yeah, it was third grade, I think, fourth grade,
Okay.
fourth. And, you know, like as a kid, you always got some kids that always think they're better than everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Yeah.
you know, I used to have this kid, he used to pick on me and stuff like that. And then,
Mm-hmm.
there was a time where I came home, had a, you know, a nice little thing right here on my cheek, you know, because he
Yeah.
just and so my dad, you know, thankfully my dad, he
Yeah.
saw that first, right, instead of my mom,
Mm-hmm.
because I knew she would have like a panic attack, you know, a heart attack, and
Mm-hmm.
and so you know, he just goes, all right, like this has got to end. So he talked with a friend of his from work, and so his friend was actually helping like his neighbor kind of set up like his back area, and like his back area had like heavy bags and stuff like that,
Type stuff.
and so he goes, you know what, he's retired actually, why don't I talk to him, and like he could teach you, or you know,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And we're like, okay. And so, you know, that's how I started being taught Muay Thai in a backyard. And then, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like overall, you know, and you know, when you start as a kid, you know, like at first, like you understand, man, like this is hard. But then overall, like there's a certain thing that just like wakes up in your mind where you're just like, man, like this is awesome. I got to do more, right? And it's
That
the exact same
dopamine.
story with the arts as well. You know, like you do one thing and then you tell yourself, you're like, man, like I got to do more. Got to do more.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like you build your own way of dopamine. Like you focus
Mhm.
your mind strictly on that. And like you say, the dopamine fills you up and it's like, I want more of this, you know?
Right.
For real. Hey man, I ain't gonna lie. So after you even doing that, were you able to go back and test it out from that situation after you did more training?
Oh yeah,
Like
of course. Yeah.
Nah, man, I died as that. I'm like, I definitely know after you got right, you know, but
Yeah.
nah, that's big, man. You know, that's what fathers supposed to do though, man. Like for our
Right.
kids, like, you know what I mean? When we see something, you know, we get on top of it. So that's what's up, man. Uh who or what inspired the path you on today, you would say, you know?
Oh man, there. Yeah, I mean, there's been a whole bunch of inspiration. You know, like I can take inspiration from anywhere. Uh, I would say the ones that really started it for sure were my parents. You know, my mom too.
Mm,
Like she also owns her own business. You know,
that's what's
she
up.
yeah she teaches Spanish to kids and you know like she started her business when I was I think like 10 to 12 years old and seeing how
Mm,
like she would constantly like I mean I don't know how she did it bro but you know the late nights of her working
mm. I had a temporary cutout, people. Hold on, let me see. It was getting good, man. Okay.
sorry about that brother
Yeah, it's all good, man. I say we live, but in the
all
actual
right here we go
episode, you know, I'm gonna edit. But yeah, man. So your mother starting a business, she's showing you the entrepreneur
hold up
side of it. Yeah. Oh, for real? Let me see. Oh, okay. You can hear me now? Hold on, wait. Let me see one second. Let me see. All right. Let me see.
all right.
Yeah, we good. Oh, you still can't hear me? Hold on, let me see something real quick. Yo.
All right
Yeah, man. So, like I said, none of that gonna be in the actual episode. So,
I see you
uh, nah, you can hear me. You can hear me. It's cutting in a lot.
all right
You can
you
hear me.
see me
You can hear me.
can you hear me
You can hear me.
yes sir
Oh yeah, yeah. We good. We good. Yeah, yeah. So I say, man. So the entrepreneur side, you learned from your mother at the age, you say around 10, she started her business.
Ooh, yeah.
So you was like, yeah,
So
you was like, I don't even know how she did it. You know, she started out when you was around 10 and stuff, having her
ooh.
own business. Yeah. Let's see what's up. That is weird.
There we
Hold
go.
on. Oh, yeah, you can hear me?
All right. There we go. Still can't hear you.
Hold on, one second. One second. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, we good. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. So like I say, none of that gonna be in the actual episode, you know, because
Right.
I go back and edit it. But
Edit it.
yeah, man. So like I say, you started noticing your mom started a business around the age of 10, and you was just
Yeah.
like, man, I don't even know how she did it, but she was just teaching, you know, other people Spanish.
Seeing her just like day in and day out, being able to go to work while also handling her business, I'm just like, man, like, how do you do it? And while at the same time, like, also raising a family, helping my dad, and stuff like that. It's insane.
Yeah, so she just was simultaneously just, you know, making it happen.
And then my dad too, just like his work ethic as well. Obviously being an immigrant under any kind of circumstances is not the easiest thing. Like you got to go through so many hoops just to even be here, and then on top of that too, you also got a family as well. So they're a power team for sure. Like the things that they've seen, the things that they've experienced as as a married couple, but also as a team, and then also having a family too. So
Nah, I respect that, you know,
they
because
did
I
good.
know, yeah, I respect that, man, because, you know, with them, like just coming from another country already, you got to work twice as hard, you know, than
Right.
the people that's already there. Like you got to work 10 times harder, you know, to provide and make it happen, you know.
Right.
So, like I say, man, you wear many hats: actor, stunt performer, martial artist, filmmaker, entrepreneur. Like, which passion came first, and how did the others naturally follow? If you was to put in that order, like this created this, that created that I walked all the way into that.
It was first things first, for sure, martial artist.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly came photographer. Thirdly came actor and stunts, and
Mm-hmm.
then fourth came entrepreneur.
Yeah. So
And
like,
every single one of them too fed me to the next thing. Like it prepared me for the next thing,
mm-hmm.
which understanding the ways of martial arts, like combat sports, right? It builds up a resilience in you that you always take with you anywhere, right? And it's because of that I was able to tell myself and go, you know what, this is where I'm meant to be, right? Like this is my place.
Yeah.
So, just doing things like that. And then it's also because of martial arts too that, I was able to pick up like a whole bunch of stunt things too, like learning kind of the basics there, like understanding. And then also being like a stunt performer, being an actor, and then being entrepreneur as well. There's so every single season that I did of those has always prepared me for the very next thing that's going to come. So I don't know what's going to come next, but I know
Yeah.
it's going to be good.
Nah, definitely, man. So, what was the defining moment that made you believe you could build, you know, like a career with something you love, like putting all of them together?
I would say after my first photography job that I ever did. It was for it was for an event. Can't even remember like what it was now, but oh no, wait. So it was actually for a school actually that I was training at the time. They asked me if I could start taking photos of things like right at the academy, stuff like that. And then that's what really started to kind of help it, because then they started putting it, like all over the place, right? Like over on their Facebook, their Instagram, things like that. And then that's what really started to kind of help expand it. And then, people were seeing the photos and videos and, like the whole content and things that we were doing, and they were asking my coaches too, like, hey, do you mind if we get that, like can we get some of that, and we're just like, yeah, sure. So I just started going, between every affiliation school that we had in Orlando, and just doing that.
Yeah, that's tough, man. So, even behind the brand, like you say, from, the prime example earlier, people don't understand, though. They, when somebody doesn't understand, when you know what you're doing, like,
right,
they'll say something to where it's like, oh yeah, you really don't get what's going on for real, but people see the finished product, but what they do misunderstand about, like what they misunderstand about media and film, like what sacrifices behind the scenes, you feel that most people never see.
right. And yeah, and I mean the whole thing about like media and film too is like you can't change like people's perspectives of things. Like I've had moments where I've seen a photo that I'm just like, this is it right here. Like that's money shot all the way. Like this is like the $1 million, right? And people see it and they're just like, I mean it's decent. And then they turn around and they see a photo that you didn't even think about, right?
Yeah.
It's only a photo, but then like they see it and they're just like, this one, like I'm gonna put out to the entire world, right? And you're just like, why? But you can't change people's perspectives. What they get out of it, they get out of it, and you're just like, you know what? You see a certain thing that I don't, and that's how it is.
Yeah. So what, like, being heavily involved in what you're involved in, like, for the people that, like how I say with me with music or podcasting, like, there's certain like people that don't do it, they won't understand certain things behind the scenes. But like for you, like behind the scenes, what's some things that people don't understand about either the work ethic you got to put in, or the stuff that they don't see. They see the finished product. When you do what you do, they see that, but they don't understand the sweat and everything behind it, or the countless hours put in. Like,
I would say just everything, I would say it's just everything. I urge anybody that wants to, that doesn't understand like the arts, right? Whether it's media, whether it's film, whether it's a podcast, whether it's, even making a song, right? Making music. Honestly, just to start, I think is the hardest thing, right? Because now, because like, I mean, I don't know how it is with music, obviously, like I'm not inclined in that in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But just to be able to start, like you hear things and then and then you start adding onto it before you know it, you have a beat, right? That's your seed that it, you start to expand. But then, that urge and that, feeling of just like, no, like that doesn't transition well. Like, no, like I don't like how this goes from there and then back to here. No, like now I gotta go back, right? Same thing with like photos and photography or like film, and you're just like, no, like I don't like how he stares at the camera here. Like I don't like how he does this. I don't like how he does that. Right? That one like 2 or 3 seconds that you don't like could be an extra hour, right? Could be an extra hour of work, right? And people don't understand that at all. You're just like, okay, so go and fix it. As like, you know what? If it's easy, like, why don't you do it?
Yeah, nah, for
Right?
real,
Like you just
man.
want to say, like, you don't understand. Like, it took me, 5 or 6 hours to get to this point, and now because of because I see it, right? Like I'm the one that's doing this painting, and
Mhm.
and now I have to go back and I have to fix it because it doesn't fit, right? Like I just don't see anything where like here, like this could fit into this.
Man, I honestly feel like when you just said everything you said, like I ain't never think about this, but I think as a creative, we build our own intelligence based around what we're creative in. So it's
Right.
like we're are alone as a creative. I feel like we're on our own island against the rest of the world because,
Hmm.
like I said, if you see a photo or you watching martial arts or a match, you can actually probably see it as fast as somebody else that doesn't have the IQ behind it. But I mean, what your visual and your experience, your expertise, you can look at it and literally identify within seconds.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like we got our own type of superpowers with type creativity, or in certain avenues, wherever we experienced that. I feel like we built that type of intelligence for it.
Exactly.
Versus somebody, they look at it their surface level, but it's like when we here to see it, we're looking at it deeper and in depth to like, oh, I get it, or I see why they shot it like that, or I see why they, or
Right.
they could have probably did this a little bit over here like this, or said it this way, or did the shot a little bit like this, But I
Hmm.
just feel like that's our own lenses in the world, Which artists, it's not really no judgment to it. It's really just like, it's us having our creative eye to it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But it's like we can definitely see what's going on, like break it down and kind of analyze it better than if somebody's just looking like, oh, that's a nice shot, or that's a nice
Hmm.
photo. But then it's like when we see it, it's like, oh, okay, like, okay, they take it like this, or they use this, or like, yeah, like a different type of appreciation.
Right.
Like, but I think that gives us more of a way to appreciate others, creativity too.
Others work. Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah. So, man, like, just tell us about everything you're currently building. Between Red Katana Media and Flow Syndicate Media, like acting, stunt work. What project excites you the most? Right now.
Yeah. I mean, just now, like I got me and my media friends as well. I got Azariah and I got Shelly as well. We've been hard at work for I mean since February when we've been doing when we have this film that's about to be out on uh Tubi, and then
Mm-hmm.
with Azariah, like he's got his film coming out. He's also got a film that he's gonna do in August actually, with it's like this boxing movie, kind of like Creed. Like
That's
he's
dope.
he's 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 making his own version of Creed, and then we have Shelly as well. She has her film series that she's doing. She's we're about to start production on that in the next 2 weeks, and then
Mm-hmm.
I got 4 photo shoots lined up. I got this series as well that I'm doing with my friend. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, but he
Yeah.
competes like internationally. He's got like a whole bunch of competitions coming up, so we're doing kind of this whole documentary with him, and then in August actually I have this action film that I wrote and everything
That's dope.
that I'm gonna be doing with my friend Jonathan from Grindhouse Studios. Talented guy, wonderful dude, and we're gonna be doing that, and we're gonna expose that out to the world.
Nah, that's what's up, man. Like, even you just saying how many projects you're working on, and how everything you're working on. Like I say again, man, appreciate you definitely taking time out your schedule, because like I say, you wear a lot of hats, and I'm pretty sure you have a lot going on. So
Yeah,
definitely,
but
man.
It's what we love to do, and not
Mhm.
only that, but I mean, you enjoy the process. I think, I think most importantly for me, the most important part of the process is knowing that, you meet other people, like yourself, right? Like, doing
Mhm.
this, you can tell yourself and go like, you know what, like the people that I have in this, the people that I have that I'm doing, this photo shoot with, or like this film with, I want to retain. Like, I want to see on another film set, because they were such a positive person to be around. You
Yeah.
know, and especially I think like here in Orlando, right? I mean, there's so
Mhm.
many creative people, not a lot of creative opportunities
Mhm.
professionally.
Yeah.
So the fact that I see a whole bunch of people in Orlando not taking no for an answer, right? Like, they are making their own
Mhm.
opportunities here or abroad, but then like what they do out in Los Angeles and like New York and stuff like that, and then they come back and they're just like, we're gonna bring that over here.
Mhm.
I mean, I see Orlando popping off in the next 5 to 10 years. We're
Oh,
we're,
it's
we're
definitely
not just going to
happening.
be a place for
Tourism and all that. Yeah.
commercialization.
Yeah.
There's going to be a whole bunch of things, and I mean, and I want to be a part of it, and I hope you're a part of it too.
Most definitely, man. I try to do what I can as much as I can, even though,
Right.
like I say, from Orlando, reside in Atlanta, but it's like I'm always trying to represent still where I'm from
Hmm.
in a way. So it's just like however I can share my light, or bring stuff together. I'm building a network itself, just having this. I
Right.
started
Yeah.
realizing more as I kept doing it of how I'm able to just bring more people together from all areas or different countries, and literally. So I definitely been enjoying this process, man. Uh so if someone had never seen your work before, what's the first project you would want them to experience, to see?
Man, that's hard.
Mhm.
For photography, for sure, it would definitely be a photo series that I did with my friend Ben Aris. He's MMA fighter. So we did like this entire documentary thing with him.
Mhm.
Um, I think his during the fight camp that he did when he actually became like a world champion.
That's dope.
So that one for sure. And then also photography as well. This one that I also did with my friend Julia. Like, we were outside. Like, I didn't have any of my fancy stuff, like fancy lights and stuff like that. Like, we had maybe an hour and a half of sunlight,
Mhm.
and the some of the photos that we captured too were just like phenomenal. And then for film, I would say this film that I have coming out soon, Everyday White Man.
Mhm.
It's a very funny, it's a very funny movie, but it's also very deep. Like, I don't have a whole bunch of things to say, but you definitely see, I tell more of the story through my face, which is fun.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Nah, definitely, man. So, even speaking on, like I say, you said some of the people that you worked with earlier and collaborated with, but how important have relationships been throughout your journey as well?
Very important. As I've said, I take inspiration from everybody that I work with as well. And the fact that I'm, on, like, I'm still establishing myself, but
Mm-hmm.
I've had the opportunity to give people that that platform and that opportunity for them to experience the same things that I did, right?
Yeah.
Being able to help people like understand and be like, hey, is this really what you want to do? Like, is the arts, actually a profession that you can actually see yourself doing, right? Most of the people, like that, they're still working hard for it. Some people
Mm-hmm.
have dropped out, but name of the game.
Nah, definitely, man. So, has there been a collaboration that changed the trajectory, of everything you got going on?
I can't really say like one project has changed a whole bunch of things. Like every project always kind of changes your perspective on like how you deal with things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether like as an actor or whether as
So,
part
what
of
was the most
production crew.
impactful then? What was the most impactful you'll say?
Um, Probably this film that I did last year with
Mhm.
Full Sail. It was called Toxic
Oh, Full
Skies.
Sail.
Yeah,
Mm,
Toxic Skies. That one was like, I think I was one of the oldest people there. I did it when I was 25,
mm,
but knowing how people just like carry themselves like on a film set and seeing how, because that was one of the first times where I got to stunt I got to choreograph all of the stunts, but also be a part of it, like on camera.
mm.
So seeing just the absolute professionalism that I got from everybody there was like phenomenal. It didn't feel like a student film; like it felt like an actual, a film that you're a part of,
Yeah. Nah, that hit different though.
right?
When you feel like you're a part of the process of everything going on. Um, and like I say, man, when it's even all said and done with all the work you putting in, just like what overall impact do you hope, your work leaves on the people? Like, cause essentially we're all serving each other.
Right,
But as a creative too, I feel like we're all serving people. We're literally exchanging, our thoughts and our ideas and pouring it into people.
right. Whenever people see what I do, whether it's like a photo shoot, whether it's a film, I want people to be inspired. I want
Mhm,
people to be able to take what I gave into that performance or like into that and say, you know what, I can make that. Maybe not exactly that, but I can do it as well.
mhm.
You know, like I want people to say to themselves, you know what, that was awesome, and I see myself doing that one day. Maybe not like as a professional, but the fact that he was able to do it, right? Like I can do it too.
Yeah. And if your journey could teach one lesson to aspiring creative, and entrepreneurs, what would it be?
Oh man, there's a lot. The one lesson. Oh yeah. The bad experiences that you had, they're a part of the process. And don't think that
Mhm.
the story stops there. Because it's very easy to tell yourself and go like, man, like this was terrible. Like why am I doing this? Like I should just quit.
Mhm.
Pump the brakes. Like pick up what pick up what you saw, and make sure that it never happens again.
Nah, that's real,
And just keep
man.
going.
That's real. Cause it's the easiest thing to do is to stop. The hardest
Right.
part is to keep going. It's easy to be like, I just want to throw it all away. Like, but what is that?
Mhm.
What does that serve though?
Right. Like you don't like you never know. Like you just making that decision to just tell yourself, I'm going to try it one more time. It's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a person sees it and says, hey, like, that's cool. I'm going to do that. And then,
Mm-hmm.
and then another person sees it. So like you at like your, you know, when you feel like you're here, when you want to be here, now it's like, hey, wait, I still have that ability to inspire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's real, man. So just speaking that, ahead, like what are you intentionally working toward, over the next year? I mean, we're at the halfway marker right now in the 2026, but what are you working towards? Basically, I would say, what are you building right now that when next year comes, it's like I've been already working on this like last year,
Ooh. Well, now I'm kind of in a position where I can enjoy the work and everything that I've been able to do. I've got a couple films that I was a part of that are almost finished, right? So right now that they're in post, they're just adding like the final touches to it and things like that, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But like the work doesn't stop there, right? Currently right now I'm with the Orlando Film and drama company. I'm helping them as a coach to also build up like a kids TV show.
So,
Kind of like the Amanda Show and all
type
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
Type
So
stuff. Yeah, that's
definitely doing
hard.
that,
You
and
gotta
then
do it though, man, because
yeah,
originally Orlando, that's where it was shot. At
right,
Universal. Yeah, that's
yeah.
dope.
So being able to do that, being able to like have that, start to come back is fantastic because I don't see like a whole bunch of like sketch comedy shows like a whole
Mm,
bunch anymore. Where it's
nah,
like that's what like I was on like that's what I grew up with. I'm pretty sure like you did too,
yeah,
and seeing
yeah.
like all that the Amanda Show, all that like those are
Mhm.
some of my favorites, and then also just having the all these projects and everything with Azariah and with Shelly as well. And then also being able to have like a true like team of creative people, both behind the scenes and on camera,
Yeah.
that we can call and say, "Hey guys, like I got this idea for a film," and we know like people are just gonna like answer the call because they have the same aspirations that we do.
No, real talk, man. It's just like when you collaborate and come together and everybody is on the same path, like
Right.
everybody, is it's just like one of those things, like, man, I can't wait to see what this turned into. But I think that's the biggest thing though, when you have a team like that, because that's not saying it's rare, but that's what you need to get to a success though. I feel like,
Right.
everybody, we all need a team. We literally
Hmm.
all need a team. Trying to do it by yourself, I mean, and to be honest, everything is a long game. I feel like
Yeah.
the process is the long game. It's no shortcuts. When you try to take a shortcut, you're literally gonna like. It's like driving on the highway, get off on the exit, only to end up still in the same spot where you got off on that exit.
Hmm.
So it's like you can't avoid it. You just gotta. It's like traffic. You just gotta wait till it clear and keep going on your route.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, man, I got some quick questions, man, for you too, man.
All
Just
right.
whatever the first thing come to your head, like your favorite movie.
The favorite movie would be the Dark Knight.
Okay, yeah,
The Dark
okay.
Knight.
So your favorite director or filmmaker
Uh, uh, Quentin Tarantino.
type stuff. Okay, your biggest motivation.
Um, Inspiration to inspire.
And your dream collaboration.
Dream collaboration. On or a film, it would definitely be with Michael Jai White. Love that guy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's hard, man. Like I say, man, as we, get to the, concluding, our interview, man. Like I say again, much appreciation for you taking your time out to invest and pour into our platform, but
thank you for having me.
Any shout outs, you want to give to anybody that's been, in your corner, or like I say, along the way, you collaborated with or currently working with,
To my parents, obviously, for the inspiration and for everything that you have provided me for to be able to even have this. To my partners as well, Azariah and Shelly. Let's just do it to it. I mean, we got these projects going on, so let's just make it the best that we can, and we got a big and successful future as well. And then also to OFDC as well. We got a whole bunch of projects. We got a really tight knit group of creative people, and we got this television pilot that we're doing for kids, and we got a whole bunch of stuff too that we have in the works. So Orlando Film and drama company, definitely, and also a special one out to all the creatives as well in Orlando. Thank you all, and let's make Orlando into a creative spot, not just a creative spot, but the creative spot.
I say, man, definitely was an honor. You know what I mean? Like, just to make this connection, because I'm big on still for the city and everything that that's going on. When we first started this platform, I was heavily connecting with my network, back home and stuff. So, I'm always trying to see, what's going on and how we're expanding or, like I say, pour that positive energy out there.
There will be more.
Like I say, man, gotta give you the signature question before we get out of here, man. When you hear the word underdog, what does it mean to you personally, and how does it connect to your journey?
Underdog is a person that just isn't gonna stop. That the odds will be completely out of it, but they just don't stop because they know that's what they're meant to be.
Nah, man, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, you basically been sworn in and locked in with our community, so what we do, we always support, bro.
Yes,
support don't take nothing but a click and a share and constantly. So this won't be the last one as well either, man. Like we always do follow-ups and just to check in, like, hey, what's going on? Or, everything like that, like you'll definitely be hearing from us, just to make sure, everything is everything. And like I say, you continue. We basically hold each other accountable, So it's just like accountability thing. It's like, hey, you still doing what you're doing? You still on? Like, hey, we got work to do, So like I say,
also happily share the underdogs, and I'll send you some names as well of some creative people that I have out in Atlanta too. Like we got a big network of people, so we got to tell people to be on this.
Yeah, man. Like I say, this is a platform where, like I say, we don't look at what we can get from anybody. We don't charge nobody, bro. This is just strictly off, as believing in what we believe in, man. And like I say, bringing everybody together,
Yes, sir.
That's what we do, man. But like I say, man, definitely appreciate you joining my podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Season 9, episode 19, creating iconic moments. The story behind the lenses featuring our guest Rodrigo. Appreciate you, brother. Like I say, man,
podcast number 1.
You already know what's going on, man. Hey, we out of here, bro. You know what I mean? Like I say, hey, keep consistency. You know what I mean? Keep going, bro. It don't stop.
You as well, sir. You as well.
Wish you nothing but success moving forward, bro.
You as well.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Stand aside. Say, man.
I got carrots. Open up her mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda granite. Lean color perk, you would think it's pomegranate. never leave without the cannon. I'm enlightened. Check, I got stones around my neck. If you pay attention, I teach her how to earn respect. I walk around with a tag like a mad at the rail. People do any damn thing for a check. So what if you got signed labels, throw them on the shelf? I don't ask for help, I just go within myself. Hard times I prevail, I bust up out my shell. I let my nuts hang, cause it don't got no curfew. Gold mouth rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up a mouth and she got vocals, sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda cold.